I'd like to call to order the Board of Trustees of Delhi Township's meeting for December the 14th, 2022. We will begin the meeting with Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Tonight's moment of silence happens to be for an extended family of one of our own. Our administrative assistant, Lori Stutt, lost her mother-in-law this week, Marianne Stutt. So we do grieve with Lori and her husband, Steve, for the loss of Marianne. She raised her family right on Ebenezer Road, a little bit down from the high school. 3 sons, 3 daughters, 12 grandchildren, and 9 great-grandchildren. She lived her final years right here in Delhi at Bailey, where she was always surrounded by her family. So rest in peace, Marion, and we give our prayers to the Stutt family. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Luby, do we have an approval of the minutes?
We have a motion to approve the minutes from the Board of Trustees' regular meeting on November 30th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Yes. Motion approved.
Motion to approve the payment of overtime for pay period ending November 29th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Motion approved.
A motion to approve bills for payment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved. Report from the fiscal officer, Mr. Luby.
So we have an opening and the reading of bids for Delhi Township Street Rehabilitation and Repair Project 2023-A. Motion to direct the fiscal officer to open and read the bids for Mount Vernon Road, Greenwell Avenue, and Neeb Road Sidewalk Improvement Construction Projects, and to turn the bids over to Public Works Director Ron Rippinger for review and determination concerning the selection of the lowest responsive and responsible bidder.
That is so moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion approved.
First one is Adlita Construction. Total is $1,295,638.16. R.A. Miller Construction Company, Inc., for $1,305,898.88. $1,305,898.88. John R. Jurgensen for $1,516,787.10. $1,516,787.10. Pruce Construction for $1,351,781.78. $1,351,781.78. That's it.
Yeah. Mr. Rippinger, could you give us the definition, or the difference, I should actually say, the difference between the bids that we just opened and the bids that we opened 2 weeks ago? For which projects go which way? Is this our regular street rehabilitation and the other one was the grant from SORTA? Is that what I understood?
That's correct. This is our yearly road project that we put out, and I believe, there's the street names we have up
Okay,
there.
so street rehabilitation will be Hickory Lake, Hickory Wood, Hickory Knoll, Greenery, Glen, Country Ridge, and Country View, correct?
Correct.
And that's what these bids were to cover?
That's correct.
Okay,
And then later on with Public Works in the meeting, we'll be awarding for the SORTA grant, the sidewalk grant.
great, thank you, Ron.
Okay, thanks.
So are we going to change the
The
wording?
verbiage is
Yeah,
talking
the
about the
verbiage, the
sidewalk.
verbiage says sidewalks.
Yeah. We just approved
The project is probably correct, but
Right.
the streets,
they're still talking about the sidewalk improvement.
And it's actually the road rehab for 2023.
Yours says. Right, but the verbiage under it, read and see what it
Under it,
said.
read it
Read
says-
bids for Mount Alverno, Greenwell, and Neeb Road sidewalk.
improvement.
I think we had a
construction.
cut and paste.
We don't have that.
We don't have that?
So we need to change the verbiage. No? No? Okay.
I see what you mean. That is incorrect. It's for the street rehabilitation for these streets behind me. That was an error.
Okay. So
Okay.
do we need to restate it, or are we good, Brian?
Mr. Pacheco, do we need to restate this motion?
Probably not, but go ahead.
Oh, okay, so,
Just, you can reiterate that the bids that were opened up were properly noticed on the agenda. It was just, there was an additional on the agenda that made it a little less clear, so.
Okay.
so, yeah, what we'd like to do then is repeat the motion referring to the opening and reading of the bids of the street rehabilitation repair project. Mr. Luby, do you want to read?
Motion to direct the fiscal officer to open and read the bids for the Delhi Township Street Rehabilitation and Repair Project 2023-A for Hickory Lake, Hickory Wood, Hickory Knoll, Greenery, Glen, Country Ridge, and Country View. And to turn the bids over to Public Works Director Ron Rippinger for review and determination concerning the selection of the lowest responsive and responsible bidder.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Yeah.
Yes. Motion correctly approved.
And then just to reiterate the numbers that Mr. Luby read for those bids, we're not gonna read them again because they're already out there, but those are the numbers for that particular bid.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
we're good. Thank you.
That's not on mine, so I didn't
Yeah.
see it. So
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Luby, you have a hiring recommendation?
Yep, we have a motion to approve the hiring of Julia C. Grace as the Assistant Fiscal Officer at $58,000.02 per year, effective December 14th, 2022.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion approved. Congratulations, Julia Grace, and for those of you who recognize the name, Julia has been in the police department for a few years, so she's going to move across the parking lot and join us in the admin building.
Thank you, Police Department.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
As far as significant transactions since our last meeting, on 12/13, we received $48,000 for cable franchise fees. And as far as significant disbursements, on 12/5, we had a payment to Mobilecom for $19,000 for the Fire Station 33 house alert system. And our payroll on December the 8th was $306,000. That's all I have.
Awesome.
All right, thank you, Mr. Luby. Trustee correspondence, Trustee Davis?
Yes, I do. Just a couple of points. First of all, continuing that moment of silence, Delhi obviously lost a true ambassador of the township and media and everything with Jerry Thomas's passing on December 8th, I believe it was. And we all know Brian, his son, is on 55 KRC in the mornings, and it's just a real mover and a shaker in the community, just like Jerry was. And I know each and every one in this room and those watching at home probably have a story about Jerry Thomas and Granny and everything in between. But I would like to throw it out that maybe we would consider, not at this meeting so much, but in honor of Jerry and the work that he did with our skirt game and Granny and up on that field, is we can all have a vision of him being out there on the pitching diamond and behind home plate. Maybe we consider putting a plaque up at that field or even renaming that field, maybe Jerry Thomas Field. So I throw that out here now for your consideration, and we can go from there. That's one point. I don't know if you wanted to comment. If not, I'll go into my second.
No, no comment.
Okay.
Nice idea.
Yeah, just throwing it out there. The other one is this. I touched on it at the last meeting or 2 meetings ago, and it's about the red light violations and people that are running red lights like it's legal or something. And maybe because it's on my radar, and it should be on everybody's radar with what's going on. First of all, a safety note, just because the light turns green doesn't mean just go through it. Stop and look both ways and make sure. I think every one of us has probably had an experience or seen it where someone just runs right through it. It's all over in the city. It's all over in green. It's everywhere. What I don't want is for it to be in Delhi. I did contact our incredible police department just to see kind of where we were numbers-wise, and are we, in fact, trying to not so much crack down. No, we're just trying to keep the area safe and keep our residents safe from people that just decide they're just going to run the light because everybody else is. It's not going to fly. It's not going to float in Delhi. Mark it down, and this night, it's not going to. We protect what we have. We protect our property. We protect each other. So these people that think that you're just going to start running red lights because no one will pull you over, they will pull you over in Delhi. If I'm wrong, Jeff Braun, Chief, let me know. Yeah, exactly. So be careful out there. It's not a warning or anything. It's just saying be careful, be smart, and don't run the red lights, especially not in Delhi, because you will get a ticket. We're not about just slapping you on the wrist saying, okay, try not to do it next time. There's people's lives out there that are at stake. There's enough going on with people being distracted with driving, much less having to worry about people out there flying through red lights. And I'm not talking about it yellow and you just went through it. I mean dead red. It's ridiculous. And it's just time that we just took action and keep us safe as possible. That's all I've got to say on that.
Public service announcement.
I guess. I mean, we could tell stories. I mean,
We've
not-
all been there, seen it, so.
I'm literally, now I'm going down Glenway, heading home. I pass the Arby's on my right. Traffic is stopping up at that next light. A car moves into the left lane, goes down the turn lane all the way, and then the light is dead red, just flies through it, goes through the next one. Not like they're in a hurry, they're just, it's like, yeah, it would take one person crossing the street, one person. So, again, we can't control what happens in the city and these other places, but in Delhi, one of the things that you know, Delhi has an incredible safety services reputation. And be aware. Tell your families, tell your friends. You heard at the trustee meeting tonight. Don't do it.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Sturts.
Yes. I'd like to congratulate on behalf of the board up here also, our career firefighter Katie LaCasto earned her bachelor's degree in fire service and emergency management from UC. It took her 6 years. And somebody says, well, why 6 years? Well, let's see, she did it full-time, she did it part-time, she took semesters off so she could also go to paramedic school, and she had a job change to career firefighter paramedic. So God bless her. Congratulations, we're glad she's ours. Hope she stays around for a very long time. So we're proud of all of our people who earn their degrees and on our behalf. And you, residents, are the recipients of their education. So again, congratulations, Katie.
That's super, yes. We do have a committee inside the township called We Thrive, which is coordinated with the Hamilton County Public Health. And we were recognized recently at a dinner for having been an active participant in the We Thrive program now for 4 years. And I just want to take the moment to say thank you to all of you who have taken the time to volunteer, and for those of you who have had an input into what we're doing and how we're doing it. Chief Campbell, thank you so much for your hard work on this. I know it takes another night out of your life, but it just goes along with the theme that we just talked here. Safety on our roads, safety from our fire department, and overall health and wellness and safety from the We Thrive Committee. So thank you so much, everyone, for participating.
Well, thank you for leading it, Cheryl. I know you've been the driver behind it, and this is presented by the Hamilton County Public Health, in case you don't know who did that. You may have said that, and I'm sorry if I repeated you, but again, thank you for the charge.
Oh, thank you. All right, well, we'll continue with the agenda, and I have Fire Department. Resolution, please.
Resolution 2022-187, a resolution entering into a collective bargaining agreement with the Delhi Township Professional Firefighters Local 3389, IAFF, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading.
I will introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
Second, the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Chief?
Thank you, trustees. So this contract, their current contract, labor contract expires December 31st, and this would replace the current contract and cover another 3 years with our firefighters. It takes into account a number of health and safety items, a lot of positive things that make our full-time fire more marketable. So we've always looked for ways to kind of set ourselves differently from other communities in terms of our recruitment and retention. I think this contract goes a long way in doing those things.
I think what we need to do to make sure that this protects those who protect us, it will encourage people to apply here to be part of our fire department, correct?
Yes, this is going to be a long-term component in us being able to sell our organization. A lot of the contractual things that are driven by this, whether you're talking wages, benefits, hours of work, it's all encapsulated, and that's what we're compared against when the firefighters are looking at communities to serve in. So it's not only the quality and character of the community, but they're also looking at, the pay, the benefits, and the working conditions. And I think this goes a long way progressively to set us apart from other communities in a positive way.
Well, I know between yourself, Mr. Lemon, and the police union, you really had to hammer out some details, and I appreciate all your hard work to get this done. Trustee Davis?
Well, I agree. That's what I was going to say. People don't see the behind the scenes where your team, the union folks getting together to try and find common ground, because it all comes down to safety. I'm glad that we're sitting here on this night, not looking up thinking, well, we don't know where it's going to go. They're still talking, and oh my gosh, it's quite a blessing to have it resolved. And again, it's a tribute to you, your team, and the firefighters of everyone working together for the same cause. So it's very much appreciated.
Trustee Sturts?
Same thing. Thank you so much for your work. Thank you to the team. Thank you for, being amenable to each other, So
No, there was no mud throwing. And if you guys recall, over the years, this is a contract being settled before it expires. And how many years have we gone where we're meeting with you in May and talking about back pay because we couldn't come to an agreement in that period and stuff. So it's very different in that way. And I think, all parties worked very well together to try to get this hammered out. I think nobody sits there and says, yeah, we won the whole thing. That's the part of the negotiation, is meeting in that middle.
And I do want to thank Mike Lemon, too, because different comments that I've heard, Mike, they just like you. You're just a good guy, likable, and you're smart, You know what we're trying to do, and it's just thank you. Thank you for being you. I will move.
Also like to make sure that Melanie gets
Oh,
Absolutely.
Good point. Yep.
was very instrumental in helping us through this.
Good point. Thank
Definitely.
you, Mike.
Thank you.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes. Congratulations, Chief.
We have a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding regarding the sleep credit program with the Delhi Township Professional Firefighters Local 3389 IAFF.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved. Any other updates, Chief?
No, just for clarification, that memorandum of understanding is contractual language in terms of how we agree to work. However, it's not in the contract itself, and we did have some changes that they signed off on, so it's just amicable to kind of leave it out of the contract.
All right, and thank you, Delhi firefighters, for sticking it out. There we go. You're in for another 3 years. We're so glad. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Parks and Rec, I understand you're nothing on the agenda, so you're good to go. All right, Police Department, Assistant Chief Braun.
We have Resolution 2022-188, resolution authorizing lease agreements with Great American Financial Services Corporation for the Sharp copier systems for the Police Department, together with related service agreements with Millennium Business Systems, authorizing the Township Administrator to execute the necessary documents, declaring an emergency, and dispensing with the second reading.
I will introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
This is just a normal replacement of an older copier. after 5 years, we get a new one, we lease them, so we get a better bang for our buck.
Okay, thank you.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes, resolution passes.
Motion to approve the promotion of Kathleen S. Giblin to the Manager of Support Services in the Police Department at $27 per hour, effective December 14th, 2022.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion approved. Congratulations, Kathleen. Very nice.
Lucky you had somebody right in house that could
Absolutely.
pick
That's wonderful.
it up.
Although we celebrate Kath getting promoted, obviously, we're sad that Julie is, but she's going to help everybody in the township because she's done such a good job. But Kath is a great ambassador for the community. She's got over 20 years dispatching experience.
Oh, yeah.
She served 2 different military branches, obviously younger in her life, and then she's been here for 3.5 years, and she's done a wonderful job. So we look forward to it. She's going to do a fantastic job.
Well, congratulations, Kath.
Yep.
Okay, Public Works, Mr. Ripperger.
We have Resolution 2022-189, a resolution awarding bid to and authorizing the Township Administrator to enter into a contract with Fred A. Neiman Construction Company for the Neeb Road Sidewalk Improvement Project, declaring an emergency and dispensing with second reading.
Introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this resolution, Ron?
We were happy with the bids that came in, and contractors are anxious to get started if the weather holds out.
Good. All right.
So they're going to start immediately?
Might be a few weeks, give or take a
But they're gonna
few
work through the
inches of
winter.
snow. Yeah, they want to work on it.
Okay,
If they can, if it's possible.
thank you.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading? Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes. Resolution passes.
Resolution 2022-190, resolution awarding bid to and authorizing the Township Administrator to enter into a contract with Fred A. Neiman Construction Company for the Greenwell Road Sidewalk Improvement Project, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this resolution, Ron, is this just repeating on a different street?
Correct. And Neiman also is awarded that one, and just to mention that it is a local construction company down on Bender Road.
All right, thank you.
I will move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes. Resolution passes.
Resolution 2022-191, resolution awarding bid to and authorizing the Township Administrator to enter into a contract with Adleta, Inc. for the Mount Alverno Road Sidewalk Improvement Project, declaring an emergency and dispensing with second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this resolution, Mr. Ripperger?
Adleta Construction, they have done a good amount of work for us over the years, so I think they'll do a good job, and they're also a little anxious to get started.
Oh, good. All right.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes, resolution passes.
One more for Mr. Ripperger, if you would, please.
Sorry, Ron.
You almost got away.
They just don't like that hot seat.
I've noticed
He was so close.
at the light there at the Town Square project, the red light late at night, 11:30. It seems like, I don't know if they tweaked it or did something maybe for the construction traffic going in and out, but it's coming on. And not only that, but the arrow's on and there's absolutely no traffic. So you sit there and wait. And no, I don't run the red light. But,
I'm amazed you're out that late at night.
yeah, well, you know, in my job,
I'm in bed.
sometimes it happens in pastoral care, but, so did they do something there to those lights? Maybe the officers, Jeff, maybe you guys have seen that too, where some of your guys where it's like, why is this light on? Kind of like the same one at Frisch's on occasion where it's midnight and you're waiting for the turn arrow to turn off. But
We can have them check it out. I know they recently fixed a crosswalk that was flashing 22 or something like that at that same light, but I can always look into it.
yeah, I've noticed it like several times now, and I thought, okay, that's something's different. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
You.
All right, on the agenda, administration, resolution, please, Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2022-192, a resolution entering into a consulting services agreement with Focused Capital Solutions LLC through December 31st, 2023, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this resolution, Mr. Lemon?
This is an annual renewal.
Okay.
And there's no change in the fees, so you have to see that in this age of inflation. The recommendation is that we move forward to approve another year with Focus.
Okay.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
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 Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes. Any updates for us, Mr. Lemon?
Yes, ma'am. This will be the first time that you have seen these photographs, so I hope they're okay. But last week, your elected officials took a tour of Delphi Town Square. They dressed for the occasion, which you will see momentarily. But first, I wanted to just show an update with some aerials. And as I say each time, the definitions just become clearer and clearer what's going on this site. And it's very exciting to see the progress being made. And so now we begin the tour.
Yeah, we are attractive dressed in this.
So Turner's very safety conscious, and as a result, everybody was required to wear safety gear, hat, vest, glasses, etc. So this is where we started out in the parking lot by the Turner trailer, and we just started over the site and visited each of the pads, and visited the town square administration building, the other services that'll be there, and it's pretty exciting. So I think the trustees were encouraged with what they saw and enjoyed the tour very much. Actually, with all the bad weather we had for this tour, the sun came out about 5 minutes before we started the tour. So I said, I have some special arrangements for you guys.
Yeah, you did.
With a very special person. And at the end of the tour, we all had thumbs up on what was going on.
There we go.
So we were very excited to take the tour, see the progress, be encouraged with what is going on there, knowing that it's a catalytic project that is going to change this community and makes it all very exciting.
Well, thank you so much for arranging that, because we've all been kind of itching to get up there and get into the mud a little bit. And for those of you who have obviously asked me many times, how could all that be built on that space? Once you see that from a different perspective, and we were looking up at Delhi Pike, there is a lot of ground back there. There's a lot going on.
I would also add that if you haven't driven by what he's doing, you'll see that the sign is finally down. That was taken down on Monday, along with the steel pole that was in Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep.
Or it was a non-compliant pole, so that's down. The foundation, excavation, forming, and pouring continues in Area E, that's the east side of the building. The slab on grade is complete for about 2/3 of the building now, and that's moving from west to east, so it's progressing very nicely. On the wet well, there's been a lot of meetings between Powers Engineering, Grant Center Carroll, and MSD. Those are ongoing, and we'll have some more to say about that later. Test pits were completed for geotechnical investigation of the proposed tank location, so all that's addressed. And then Powers Engineering has agreed to submit their drawings set to MSD for PTI, permit to install at 60% completion, which is earlier than previously discussed, so that's a good sign. And this will allow Turner to start procuring equipment a little earlier, because one of our concerns was if this took special equipment, we could have a very long lead time on it, but it appears as though that's not going to be necessary, so we might be able to expedite some of the equipment, and so we're happy about that, because we need every blessing we can get on this one. So that's all I have on Delhi Town Square. I would also just mention that I think I have finally got the budget numbers together, and we can probably move ahead to schedule the public hearings if you would like. I've asked Mr. Louie to review the numbers one more time before we finalize them and present them to the public, and he's agreed to do that. So I think we'll probably be ready next week. I do have some narrative to write yet, but we can at least get started getting the notebooks together with all the information for you and the public. And so I feel very good about it. It's been a labor of love, I'll tell you that.
All righty.
Good.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Oh,
Well,
thank you.
thank you.
Unless there are questions.
I'm good.
Questions?
Nope.
All right.
Good. Thank you.
Good. We're good to roll. Thank you. All right. Community development. I think we have you tonight, Mr. Roach.
That's all I got.
That's all you got? All right. Resolution, please, Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2022-193, resolution certifying violation abatement expenses at 598 Claymore Terrace and 354 Greenwell Avenue to the county auditor for assessment, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. Roach?
That's just to get 2 more properties down to the auditor's office for, get on a June tax duplicate for hopefully getting some reimbursement at some point in time.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I know we've seen this one before. Is that count? Are they using it? Is it just to be funny, or what's the story? What?
It's gone now.
Oh,
The
good,
abatement, it's gone.
good.
Yeah.
But I mean, in general, was it? Did he even respond to anything?
No response, Trustee Davis. That's why, obviously we had to go in and remove it and bring our contractor in and assess the property and the taxes.
Okay. I will move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second a motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes.
Resolution 2022-194, a resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 463 Pedretti Road, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. Roach?
So grass isn't growing, but the next 3 resolutions that Mr. Luby's going to read are all debris, and the pictures are going to be self-explanatory. We just started out with 5 this morning. 2 were brought into compliance, but the 3 remain in violation.
Okay.
So the owners of that apartment building have been notified, and they just had not responded.
That is correct. And they'll have one more 7-day notification after, if you choose to declare the nuisance tonight, they'll have one more 7-day notification, Trustee Davis, and after that, then we'll hire our contractor to go in and remove it.
Are the owners of them local, or are they in some other state somewhere, absentee?
I don't have the information in front of me on that. If you have a cover page up there with the pictures on it, it may show, I don't know if, I apologize.
That's all right. I find it interesting, you see something like that that has been sitting there so long, which reminds me of another apartment complex on Lower Delhi inside the city, and it all it took was Channel 12 coming out doing a live remote, and it hasn't been backed up since. So you hate to be that way or for it to get that, but people have to live here. People, my goodness, I can't imagine what that draws, what type of rodents and...
So that particular property, Trustee Davis, the LLC does, and a lot of times owners will do this, the owner address goes back to their property on Pedretti.
Go figure. Okay.
Lovely.
I will move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes.
Resolution 2022-195, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 512 Anderson Ferry Road, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I will introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Discussion on this resolution, Mr. Roach. Same debris.
Same, just debris in the rear yard. And this actually is an owner-occupied property.
This is an owner-occupied?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes.
Resolution 2022-196, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 5370 Casual Court, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I will introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Discussion on this resolution, Mr. Roach. I can see the debris.
Yep, just looks like some trash that has been picked up, and most of the contracted companies aren't going to pick trash up that's, strewn like that if it's not contained somehow.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes. So we've gone from being a landscape artist and cutting grass to being a debris pickup. We are not. Delhi 1-800-CALL-JUNK. Come on, people. That's basically what this is, right?
Yeah.
It's junk on the curb.
Yeah. Or they got evicted. It could have been gotten evicted.
That's correct, but unfortunately, people need to know this is not a free service that the township offers.
There you go.
So it is very costly and expensive for the township to go out and remove this debris. And if you're owner occupied, or if it's even a tenant situation, it will be placed on that tax duplicate of that property.
It will be a lien on the property.
It will be. So it's not a free service that the township offers.
Okay. That's what I wanted you to say. Thank you. All right, I have no sign-in public comments. Everybody okay? All right. Announcement then of community events, Mr. Luby.
The High Branch Library Magic Show with the Cincinnati Circus is Tuesday, December 20th at 7 p.m., and that will be at the High Branch Library. This event is for all ages. Get ready to be amazed, astounded, and amused by the Cincinnati Circus magician with a live balloon artist. The Delhi Historical Society program, Cincinnati's Lost Architects, Joseph and Bernard Steinkamp, is Monday, January 9th. It's from 7 to 8 p.m. at the Delhi Park Lodge. Dr. Thomas Connor will talk about the many iconic Cincinnati buildings designed by Joseph and Bernard Steinkamp. That's all we have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Luby. We do have need for executive session this evening, so if I could have that motion, please.
Motion to retire to executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, and/or compensation of a public employee of the township, and to consider the confidential information related to the marketing plans, specific business strategy, trade secrets, or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Yes. All right, everyone,
Roll call.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
yes, thank you. All right, that concludes the regular part of this evening's meeting, but we would all like to say to you, We wish you the very best of the season, whatever season you celebrate. And that's part of the reason why we have up the corner, 'tis the season. We are a very lucky community. We have many diverse groups that celebrate the season in many different ways. So to all of you, we wish you nothing but the best. Enjoy your holiday, enjoy your family, and please be safe out there. Mr. Davis?
I concur.
Same here.
Mr. Luby?
I agree.
Everyone, we'll see you at the end of the month. Have a great time for the holidays.